welcome to Blake
Hello.
from
Hi,
upstate New
Tara. Hi,
York.
Michelle. Thank you guys for having me on today.
Hi, Blake. Thank you so much for being here.
It's not like there's anything to talk about.
I know.
Jesus.
Where do we start?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think where we start first is to give folks an opportunity to find out who you are, where you came from, why we think you're fabulous and support you, but just give a little background about who you are and why you decided to take the plunge and run for Congress up there in New York's 21st.
Well, thank you guys so much again. Our hearts go out to all of the people in the terrible tragedy at Reagan. It's so sad. Well, I definitely started to enter this race in New York 21 because I feel like it's a great opportunity to have a pragmatic reflection of the North Country. And of course, for those of you that don't know what the North Country is, it's basically the Adirondack Park and a circumference around it. It's really big. It's 15 counties. And I am born and raised here. Grew up on a 50-cow dairy farm. We only milked 35 cows in the summertime because it was so hard to get all the field work done. And I am in love with the North Country and all that it has to offer. I love the small school system that I went to and all of the small school systems throughout. I love the animals that I grew up with. And I love the North Country, the Adirondack Park, the St. Lawrence Seaway, Lake Champlain, Lake George, Mohawk Valley. It's just unbelievable. And I want to be a true populist representative. I want to listen to the people of the North Country, which we haven't had in a long time. And I want to bring their needs to DC. We need a little more North Country in DC, a little less DC in the North Country. And I can do that. It's what I love. It's where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, these are your folks.
I know. These are my folks. I mean, this is why Blake is here. I mean, we wanted him here anyways, but obviously I have a personal vested interest in the area because that is where I grew up. My family lives there. My parents grew up there. My grandfather, I mean, my family's lived there for like 150 years or more. So it is just like what Blake said, a beautiful place to live, a great place to grow up. But it often gets left behind in terms of just what things are available and resources that are available to the district. And as Blake will tell you, anyone will, is that Elise Stefanik, representing the district for however many years that's been now, she is a DC animal and doesn't spend very much time in the district. I don't think really can connect with people there in the same way that you can, Blake, because I don't think she really cares all that much. And she's not even really from the district anyways. But I mean, you know, and I know we've talked a little bit just before you came on about what's going on with the Trump administration and how his immigration policies are going to affect the farming community in Northern New York. And I was wondering if you could just talk a little bit about that as a farmer yourself.
Yeah, of course. We are dairy farmers, and the America's farmers, not just dairy, fruit, vegetables, row crop, everything hinges on a secure workforce. And we can literally feed the world. We can do better than we're doing if we get the support that we need. We can feed the world. America's farmers are absolutely the best on this planet. But like I said before, we need a secure workforce. All of us. This is a national issue, not just a North Country issue. So this is one of those North Country issues. We can be the epicenter. I'm happy to do that. And I'm happy to carry that on my shoulders and explain that a secure workforce is exactly what we all need. Not just Blake Gendebien, not just my neighbors, but dairy farmers in California, vegetable farmers in California, citrus growers in Florida. We rely on quality people, quality labor, and immigration plays a big part in that. And if you want to have, I promise you, if you want to have an honest conversation and set real decent policy, caring policy for people, you have to have a farmer in the room. You cannot do it without a farmer in the room. And that is one of the main reasons why I need to go to DC and be part of these discussions. There just aren't enough real people with calluses on their hands, with mud on their boots in their closets. Maybe they had mud on their boots 25 years ago. You need mud on the boots that are in your closet to really understand the issues. And that's what I will bring to DC. Thanks for that question, because I feel very passionate about this issue.
Well, of course, because that's your experience. You literally have that mud on your boots. You do have the calluses on your hands. And what makes people good legislators are the people who've actually taken part and invested their lives in something like that, and they bring that experience, not the career politicians who go because they like wearing their members pin and giving speeches on the floor and pontificating. So I think that's the difference. And what sets you apart as a candidate. For a lot of Democrats, candidate quality is really important, especially in this moment now, where you aren't the establishment Republican. That's me. That's the 27 years of Republican Party. It's hard to shed it, the establishment Democrat that people typically see. And, the immigration issue, for you to have a pragmatic approach to that, to be like, you can try to demonize and otherize the brown people who come here, then you don't want them for, because you're afraid of whatever, demonizing them, which is a whole nother aspect of it. You're like, hold on a second. In practical terms, we need a labor force. Why aren't we talking about reforming the guest worker programs or the HB2s, right? I think those are the agriculture visas. It's been a while since I've worked
H2A is a 6 month.
Right. So it's like, why aren't we having those substantive policy conversations? Because that's actually what will help improve our immigration system, particularly for agriculture.
Exactly. We need to drive to this conversation. Immigration is being used too much as a tool to kind of split us apart.
Right, a wedge.
To argue. So we have to remain unprovoked. We have to be like a workhorse. You have to have your blinders on. You have to get rid of the noise. Focus on that field, focus on your job, plow one pass at a time. Don't try to take chunks that are this wide. Take chunks at manageable bites and just work away at the project. And you have to have people there that have lived experience like myself. Also, you have to have people there that know the Spanish language. You have also, I want to explain to you guys, my wife is a Cuban immigrant. We have that very special connection. To the whole issue. She came in 1972 with her family. Her father was a very hardworking man in New York City. He was the superintendent of an apartment building and in Washington Heights. And then he also worked downtown at night as a janitor. So when we met and I asked her if she would go home to the farm with me, she had no problem understanding the hours and the amount of work and how much it was going to take. And so we totally feel like not only do we understand, because we have a farm and we rely heavily on a secure workforce, but we are also on a border county. St. Lawrence County is right on the border. We're maybe a mile away from the St. Lawrence River. Yeah. So this issue, like I said before, is really near and dear to us. And this is not a vanity project for me. There is no deep, dark hole in my soul that I need to fill to make myself free. This is something that I want to do and be a part of for the North Country. And if what I do for the North Country translates into better policy for America's farmers, America's people, great. That's what it's all about.
What was the moment where you said, F this, I gotta run? Because there's usually a moment for everyone where they're like, that's it. What was it for you?
Yeah, that moment for me probably came, oh my goodness. It was years ago. I do not like disingenuous behavior. And when I see ladder climbing, it's a red flag. It means to me, or disingenuous performance on stage. That drives me nuts. And I said, I felt like that's what we were getting from our representative, and that needed to change. Why couldn't I do it 4 years ago? It's because my kids were still at home.
Mm.
Carmen and I had to wait until the boys were out. Noah, our youngest, is a senior in high school, and I was coaching him in basketball. I love high school sports.
Yeah.
And it was just critical that I finish coaching him and his friends. Nothing makes me feel better than being in a gymnasium with 10 seconds left and making the decision for the game-winning shot.
Yeah.
And we were very good at that for many years. So the boys had to get through. Noah is a senior. He's coming into the last half of his senior year. And that Elise was nominated in November, right, to be ambassador to the UN.
Mm.
And I said to Carmen, and I kind of looked at each other. We've been married for 22 years now, so a look is all it takes.
Yeah.
And she pretty much said, yeah, now's the time.
Now's the time.
And I asked Noah, and Noah said, yeah, Dad, it's okay. I know you're going to miss maybe a couple track meets this spring, but it's okay. And the other boys, of course, said, yep, no problem. And we were off to the races. Absolutely. We received some wonderful advice early from great friends, and it just took off from there.
I love that. As a former high school athlete, I played volleyball and ran track. I totally get that. It's okay if you miss a couple track meets. That's why there's a whole bunch of them. You can, as long as you make the championships or like, you know, the sectionals, then you'll be good. But
yeah, isn't track the coolest?
I miss it all the time. It's been 30, plus years since I was a high school athlete, and it was some of the most invigorating and rewarding experiences. I had volleyball for my team sport, and then track it's a team sport, but you have individual, goals and things that you can push. As I was a high jumper, and I did a lot of. I was a pentathlete. I did. I was a secret weapon. I'm only 5'6", but I had like a 35-inch vertical jump. So in both volleyball and track, I was a secret weapon. Yeah. I miss those days.
I'm like, as 5 feet tall, that's not even anything that was in my, like, okay, high jump. Nope. It's like over my head already.
I could have turned you into a basketball player. I know it.
Right.
Yeah, she would have been a hell of a point guard, man. If Muggsy Bogues could do it.
Get the elbow in the face.
Lower center of gravity.
It happened. Yeah. Well, it's funny that we're talking about this, because I think that we're in this moment in American politics, especially, obviously, things feel dark and scary. But I think people are really starved for real people and real conversations and real plain language where we're not talking over people's heads. And I think a lot of times Democrats, I mean, even now we're watching it, they talk over people and not to people in any real way. And Tara and I talk about this even just with the two of us at the Seneca Project. I think people relate to us because we're real people who came from places like the North Country and Paramus, New Jersey. And, I'm the daughter of a firefighter, and Tara was raised by a single mom and a law enforcement family. And so, I think, people are looking for representatives like you, Blake, that they can relate to, hardworking people with calluses on their hands, like you said. That means something to people. And, and we can talk a little bit about this too. The North Country in New York 21 has gone very red, obviously, in the last few cycles. But the people up there are very practical. There are a lot of independents, and candidate quality is a big part of that, I think. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what you're seeing on the Republican side as you go into the special election.
Well, my take on this is that I'm not here to educate anyone on moral behavior and how they need to change their lives. I love and care for my neighbors. I know what they need, and I am here for them, whether they're all the way to the left or all the way to the right. I am going to take care of them. And if you're marginalized, victimized, or hated on, I am going to be there for you, because Bullies are something that I have a real aversion to. I just can't stand it. So on the other side, we've got the candidates already giving each other nicknames on social media. They just can't seem to sort it out. On our side, things are very smooth, and we're unified, and that takes a lot of the energy that I need can be devoted to focusing on those just to the center right that have had to hold their nose and vote for somebody they really didn't want to because the person on the other side was just a little bit too far to the other side. So you will find that I'm very close to the middle, and it is very important to me that women have the right to choose, that affordable health care is available, and access to affordable health care is available, because the North Country is huge. You cannot have a 2.5-hour ride to your nearest facility. That's just unacceptable. I am here to make sure that rural broadband is accessible. You won't believe it. I have rural broadband to one property. For me, it's at our farm garage. For me to have high-speed internet, I have to shoot it with antennas to my house. I have to shoot it with antennas to my parents' house because the driveways are so long. That's unacceptable. People need to have access to these things, and we need to have them because there is entrepreneurial spirit and resilience all through this district, especially in the Adirondack Park. Those of us that live in that park are absolutely amazing what we can do to make a living. And circling back to your question, these are bipartisan issues. Everybody worries about healthcare. Everybody worries about access to rural broadband. Everybody worries about how much food costs at the dinner table, how expensive your electricity bill is, how expensive your natural gas bill is, how expensive your fuel oil bill is. And if you want somebody who really gets it, you send a farmer to Congress. I get it. I am in the trenches with veterans, what they're going through. I'm in the trenches with seniors over 65 with what they're going through. My parents are 80 years old. They're incredible. Dad's my best friend. I'm in the trenches with all of my neighbors. Like you said, Michelle, we're yearning for somebody that is just like the rest of us. And Tara, your parents, your mother, I'm sure she was absolutely amazing. And we want somebody that gets it and understands where we come from, not an outsider that parachutes in and sees an opportunity to win a special election. That's just not necessary.
And there's a whole lot of that up there, a whole lot of it. Elise grew up in Albany, really like outside the district. I think
and we have these incredible public schools up here, incredible public school teachers that are just killing it every single day, right? And then she goes to a private school, and her father owned a camp in the Adirondacks, and now she's a resident of her district. That's just, it's disingenuous and it's frustrating. We just need to end it.
It is. And I'm a product of public school.
Me too.
I love public school, and I think we need to be spending more of our money and resources on that instead of, sending our money elsewhere.
It's here in New York 21, and we need to embrace what we've got.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's refreshing to have candidates like you out there. It's not easy to take that leap, especially now.
Very brave.
Yes,
very brave.
It's kudos to you for stepping up. We tell people here at the Seneca Project that everyone can do their part, and because people often ask us, our supporters and folks who watch us, and they're like, "What can we do? How do we fight back against this? The chaos, and it's exhausting. Like, we feel so despondent. What can we do?" And we always tell folks that everybody has a role to play. whether it's, maybe you're not cut out to run for an office, you're a great organizer, then you find those candidates and you help them get elected. Maybe you're a great writer, start writing op-eds or start a blog or a Substack and spread the word. Or maybe you are that leader and you step up and you run for office, whether it's for your county commission, mayor, school board, or Congress. So we're really thrilled that we can support you and help spread the word to help try to get you elected, because we need more people like you out there who are honest, good Americans, just doing it for the right reasons, to try to straighten some things out up there in Congress, because boy, they need it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You are so right. It feels like there's a lot coming at us, but we have to remain unprovoked. We have to remain focused. If you have a little ball, a glass ball of gumballs, don't try to eat the whole glass ball. You twist the thing and you take one manageable bite at a time. And before you know it, you have taken off a big chunk, but you just have to do it one manageable bite at a time. It seems daunting, but we've got this, especially if we work together, like you said.
100%. When is the election? Has it been set yet?
No, but we believe that nobody really knows, right? But we think Elise will be confirmed next week. And then the governor will start the clock. The chairs will announce their decision, and 90 days after that will be the election. And that's looking like end of April, early March. So very excited. We're condensing a 2-year campaign into 90 days. And it's awesome. We wouldn't have it any other way.
I mean, I think a certain presidential candidate understands what that's like. Condensing it into, you got to go all at one time. But this is a little
fast and furious.
Yes, fast and furious. So folks, if you guys can help Blake out, please do. It's going to be a competitive race up there, more so than in the past. He's got a chance. So the more that we can do to help him, the better. Go ahead, Michelle.
No, I was just going to say, just to, piggyback on what Blake was saying, just how massive the district is. So, it's a lot of land that those people are spread out in, and it's difficult for a candidate to get from one county to the other county. I mean, it's hard to travel. It's a lot of travel in that district. So, and through the Adirondacks, from Lake Placid to Fort Drum. I mean, it's a very diverse place, and it's beautiful, but it is really big. So, I send you lots of luck to, have to drive around in the North Country during the last parts of the winter with all the lake effect snow. But I know you can do it with 4-wheel drive. You'll be all right.
Yes, North Country natives, we can handle it.
Right.
Unlike the people here in the DC area that can't drive the shit in the snow.
1 inch of snow and lose their
they loot
mind.
the supermarkets. If there's 2 inches of snow on the ground, that's it. It's get the bread and milk, and they loot the supermarkets. It's a disaster here. So you guys know what you're doing up there. Blake, thank you. Thank you so much. And we will be here to support you any way we can. And you're welcome back anytime as things go on. And best of luck to you, my friend.
We love you guys. Thank you so much. And everybody that's watching, I want to thank you for your time too. You have many other things to do. I appreciate all of you. And please visit our website there, BlakeGendebienforCongress.com. Tara, Michelle, thank you so much.